So for those who haven't listened previously, the business surgery, I ask our listeners and viewers to send in their business problems, and myself and the guest give a potential answer to it. And this week's question came in from Amy Bolton. She doesn't put her company name on. Amy says, our team is growing and I'm recruiting. Any tips on writing job descriptions and roles and responsibility documents? And I suppose you probably should have one for your chairman as well, but I'll have a go at this first, and Adam, you can have a go. In my job, or my business, we used to write really long, convoluted roles and responsibility documents, which actually were a waste of time. And my number two, who came in, Simon, suggested a different way of doing it, and we had a 4-line roles and responsibilities document. The first line was a simple explanation of why are you here in this business. So if you're the sales director, it's to increase sales. If it's the web developer, it's to make the website as optimized as possible. And then underneath that why sentence was 3 key areas of responsibility. And pretty much that was it. And the reason we did it like that, and the reason I think it worked really, really well, was when you sit down and do things like appraisals and team meetings and feedback and stuff like that, you can say to somebody, your roles and responsibilities said you are responsible for X. That's it. So it's clear what you're supposed to be doing, but it's also clear what you're not supposed to be doing. And therefore it's clear what you will be judged on. And they worked. This sort of new style roles and responsibilities document we had worked really, really well. So that's what I would recommend you do. So 1 line that just says why you're here, 3 key areas of responsibility, and that's it. If you want to add a bit more detail, add it. But the more you add, the more complicated it gets. Adam, how do you do your roles and responsibilities documents for your staff?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's beautiful advice. I think I'm always behind simplicity is clear, is important, and it's got to be clear and simple. I would say that to layer onto your advice would be to say, actually, let's take a view of the organization first of all, and let's look at the responsibilities of the functions within the business. So what's the responsibilities of the sales team? Well, it's to get revenue, but not just revenue, good, high quality revenue. What's the responsibility of CS? What's the responsibility of finance? So on, so on. And then what you do is you just cascade those responsibilities down into those job descriptions. So layering on top of your advice, the job description is just one piece in that jigsaw, and you just got to make sure that fits in the overall jigsaw. If you're asking your sales team to do something and CS to do something that isn't aligned, then you're going to find that you're going potentially in the wrong direction.
Great. Yep. I like that. Because there's no point in you saying you go and do X and you go and do Y, and either they conflict or they don't, there's a bit in the middle that's not being done at all.
Well, who's doing that bit?
Yeah. It's not on my job description. It's not on my job description. It's not mine.
Yeah.
The other thing
personally as well.
Go on. Sorry. You go first. Go
on. Okay. One of the things that I always hate is duality in roles as well. So when you hire somebody that is, oh well, you can do this and this, right? That rarely works unless it is actually birds of a feather. It's the same thing, just dressed differently. I don't like dual roles. So you've got your finance person and they also do some HR. Or you've got a sales guy and he does the onboarding or something like that. It very rarely works. You might decide that when you are bootstrapping, you've got to do some of that, but get out of it quickly. Know that somebody cannot succeed in their own head with their own identity if they have duality.
Yeah. And obviously the classic duality role is the sales and marketing director. 2 completely different tasks, but sales and marketing director or sales and marketing manager, two completely different skill sets, but they always get thrown together. So, Amy, I hope that answers your question. I hope that's really helpful. If anybody else wants to send in their business problem for a future business surgery, email phil@leedsbusinesspodcast.com, and me and a future guest hopefully will solve your problem.